Peace fam, what's good? Um, Getting ready for work. And I wanted to say something about spiritual growth. How, what is a way to measure spiritual growth? One of the ways of measuring spiritual growth and personal growth is when your changes are being recognized by other people. Meaning this, and I'll use two analogies. When you have a seed has everything that it needs to bloom inside of it, right? And it gets enshrouded in darkness most of the time when you're, planting something or trying to grow something. So think about that. When you are trying to grow, most of the time when you are trying to grow, or when most of your growth comes, is when you are enshrouded in darkness. While you're in there, in darkness, if you so choose to grow, you will grow. But the changes that initially occur are not seen. Sometimes they're not even, they're just not seen. Okay? This is the first analogy. But at some point, you know that there is some change that is occurring, or you have enough faith to believe that it is. Or in the beginning stages, when there is change there's change that's happening, but nobody else can see it. It's not being seen to everyone else. But at some point, guess what happens? Whatever was inside of that seed, it starts to sprout forth. And now everyone around is able to see what was inside of that seed. It starts to sprout forth. And that's the same with what happens when you change. Changes are made and they are seen on the outside. Now, I'll say this one. And I'll go a little further with the first one. When you plant something, people may be like, what did you plant? And you might tell them, and then they're like, oh, I can't wait to see. Okay. Can't wait to see. And at some point, there's growth. And you know that there is growth because what was hidden inside the ground starts to sprout forth, and everything that was in that seed starts to come out. No different than, and this is my second analogy, when a woman is pregnant. And this is a little bit different because when you're looking at growth, and say, the same thing like when a person is pregnant, if you are doing all kind of things, you're putting in a whole lot of work, right? You're trying to change your mindset. You're working on that. You're working on changing your behavior. You're learning things. You're like, there's all these things that are going on that is happening. And all these things are being poured inside of you. And on the inside, even though nobody can see it, just like if a woman is pregnant, initially nobody can see what's going on inside. Not even that person. But that person may feel that there is something going on because the body chemistry changes. And sometimes within our spiritual growth journey, there is something physical that takes place that changes within us because of the things that we're doing. Then what happens, just like with a pregnancy, people start to see it. It starts to show. At some point, the growth is so big that it's noticeable, it's recognizable by other people. It's not just something that is felt, that you know is going on the inside. It begins to be confirmed by other people because other people can now see your changes. Other people are now asking you, you know, why don't you do this anymore? Or why are you doing that? Why have you stopped doing this and hanging out? Or why don't you eat this anymore? Why are you always reading all the time? What are you reading? What are you doing with your time? Like, there's just going to be a distinct change. Sometimes even in your demeanor, your appearance, sometimes it might not, people can't really put their finger on it, but they can tell that there's something different about your energy, your aura. It's just different because you've been doing some work on yourself. And so when you think about the changes that you are making, how much are you really changing? How much are you really spiritually growing? How different of a person are you actually becoming? And is it to the point where it's not something that is just felt inside by you, but it's something that is being recognized by those around you? Even by you attracting different things, different people, different circumstances. You're not always in this cycle of having the same things happening to you over and over again, because there's something different about your energy. Things are changing. Things are changing or have changed. And as they change, things around you change. So it's just food for thought. You know, like I said, just wondering, how do you know when you really have changed, when you really have a difference happening? Because at some point, it can't just be something that you may be saying. Just like if you have a seed in the ground, you're saying, yeah, I'm planting this, and people can look and all they see is dirt. They just see the old, it doesn't look like anything. They just see you as an old you. They don't see anything different. Every time they come around, they just see, okay, well, they said that they planted something, or they said that they're pregnant, but they're not seeing anything. At what point do people actually see a difference and a change in you that verifies that there actually is a difference in you, that there really is some spiritual growth? some emotional growth. Answers, just food for thought. Peace.